Heat didn't make any moves
Right.
during the break, right? And Pat has always been like so perfect in his time and when to like, you know, kind of hold down the fort and then, you know, make a move. And, you know, we were thinking we were going to get Giannis. We were thinking we were going to do some things to kind of get over that hump, and it didn't kind of materialize. But just talk a little bit about like what you see with the Heat and them not making any moves. And does that set them back? Are we like trapped in being mediocre? Or do you think this summer will be a very, you know, movement heavy summer for the Heat?
I think Pat Riley and those Heat guys, they're known for making very strategic moves, right? Giannis on the table, they try to get Giannis, but like I don't think that pursuit is over. I think that, you know, I think they're going to make a tougher push. I think wherever Giannis lands, he wants to be for the rest of his career. If he leaves Milwaukee, this is where he's going to be. So, and obviously he stressed how important or how much he loves Miami. He has some roots here. He's got some real estate here, you know. So, like, I think that he does want to be in Miami. I think he's a Heat guy. Those are things.
For sure. He's definitely got that DNA.
When you talk about Miami, they like a certain type of player. They don't just pick anybody. So, like, you say, hey, Ja Morant's available. I love Ja, but is he a Heat guy, right? Not about the talent. It's about, can you become the culture, because the culture is the cheat code, believe it or not. How hard they play, their discipline, right? I think that's the cheat code when you go play against other teams, like, you know, and I think this is a special year for Spo because he's able to like really coach. He don't have guys he's got to cater to, you know what I mean? Like he is coaching his ass off right now.
Yes, he is.
And I think that their style of play, their 0.5 decisions. There's no real ball screens anymore, right?
Zero. They're basically running zero pick and rolls.
So like he's a genius with how he's, you know, making those guys play. And I think any given night in any kind of Miami team, they always can catch you slipping because they're always going to play hard. They're always going to box out. They're always going to dive on the floor for loose balls. They're going to preach extra contests, getting up on screen, pick up points. Like they're big on that. So, like, they always can beat you any given night. I've watched them win playoff series they weren't supposed to win because
no business winning.
You understand what I mean? Just because of that culture. I've been and started with him. He brought me into that. You know what I mean? And 20-something years later, I'm still working with guys for the Miami Heat, so I know how they operate. And they're a special organization. They beat to their own drum.
Yeah, they are.
And that's why they're not just going to make moves to make moves. They're like, hold on, I don't think this guy's a Heat guy. And when me and Spo always talk about different things, and you know, sometimes, and we joke about like, Heat guy, not Heat guy. Like, you know, we joke, and Spo's very private, super private person. So like, he ain't gonna give you, you know, no one in that organization. The way they move, it's like it's
a fortress in there.
It's like they just met me yesterday. It's like
crazy.
There's no
KD?
like you know what I mean. Like it's no. Hey Stan, we've known you for 25 years. Whatever you like, it's still like, hey, you still got to follow the rules. You still got to do this. It's accountability from whoever comes in this facility, who's in and out. Like they're big on that. It's not like any other organization. So I'm not surprised that they didn't jump the gun and just do anything during the break.
I trust Pat Riley in his judgment. And I think sometimes this is where I get frustrated with the South Floridian culture.
Right.
Like, if you got somebody who's put in work in our area for that amount of time, right? And he's had to do some resets. He's had to implement. He's developed a lot of talent. He's retained a lot of talent. He's made bold moves. He's brought championships back. Like, OG Pat Riley can slick that hair back. And we got to be patient with him because we know that, like, pretty much this next move that he makes probably will be his last one.
Yeah, the last.
As far as for the legacy of it.
Right,
because I believe that at some point Pat will, you know, ascend into like a minimal role because I think he'll always be connected. And I think Spo will go up to that next one. I will be interested to see who that next coach will be.
Wow.
I think that coach is sitting on. I think that coach is sitting on the bench right now.
It's right there.
Right now. And I played with him.
Yeah, I know who you're
And I
talking
won't
about.
say the name. You know, people will be able to read between the lines. I played with a few guys on that
He
staff.
had a great ATO the other day.
Oh, he did. That lob. He drew that up. And I think he's the heir apparent.
Yeah, he is, man. And I remember, I forgot what the story was on why this guy stayed on the Miami Heat. Yes, I remember the story. Rob Height.
Mm-hmm.
Remember?
Yep, Rob.
Rob got in some trouble, I think, and they made a cut, and they were able to keep the coach.
Mm-hmm.
And just talking to him, he's a lot different than Spo, though. You know, I love that he has his own twist. He's more, I would say, a people person. A little bit. He's more open, but also, when you get in that head job, that head seat,
You got it.
It's a different animal.
You change.
Yeah, well, I
different
had
animal.
Spo as an assistant,
You know?
and Spo changed my life.
Right,
He
right.
really did. Like he, really sat down and taught me how to watch film, what to look at, how to show up early. He never let us cruise through. Like Spo, the energy that he had, the passion that he had, the insight that he had,
sure.
But Spo mean as a rattlesnake. For sure. I think people look at Spo and they think it's sweet.
Nah.
Like, let me tell you, Spo ain't ducking no smoke. He's not ducking no smoke.
Right.
Like nobody over there really. Like they come from an environment of toughness and tenacity and accountability, and they uphold those rules and those laws.
For sure.
Speaking of Spo in the front office and everybody, obviously they do probably the best job in the NBA from a development perspective, where you see a diamond in the rough, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus, the list goes on.
Right.
And you see guys that played mid-major, you see guys that were kind of bouncing around from team to team, G League, D League, whatever. That guy can do it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you turn out a Duncan Robinson, you turn out a Max Strus, a Gabe Vincent.
Like your Donis Haslam.
The list, the laundry list is very long.
Right.
From a development standpoint, which is what you do.
Right.
Have you seen anything like that from any organization where they can just kind of snap a finger and turn a guy who nobody really wanted into a guy that can, Tyler Johnson, another guy who they developed, they created, and then all of a sudden is like a 50, 60, $70 million player somewhere else. And it's like nobody wanted that guy. The moment he touches over there in the red and black, all right.
I think Miami does a good job of figuring out how to make sure guys get on the floor, right? They teach them how to get on the floor, and they teach them by defense, accountability. Like, those things can always translate. So, like, Duncan, if you're not making shots, right, can you help us? Taught him how to, you know what? When Duncan left here, his level of effort on the defensive side, his attention
was so
to
different.
That was different. So, like, now, if you're not making shots, you can be on the floor. So I think that's what Miami teaches. So, like, the development comes from the intangibles, right, in their culture. So, like, they can go anywhere and impact, right? And I think that's an important thing for them when they talk about development. And then they just stay in the gym. Like, they work hard. They just work hard. I'm not saying other organizations don't work hard. I think it's just, you hear about it, the conditioning tests. And, like, when you have to do that during the summer.
Oh, shit, my bad. I just had a flashback.
How was that? Let me see that flashback. What did that look like?
Man, that flashback looked like, I remember calling my wife like, hey, babe, I don't know if I want to do this.
Yeah.
Had you questioning the career path?
I don't know if I'm cut out for this.
It was like that. Right? You hear all the Heat players, right, that I've worked with, when it's that summertime, they are talking about this and they're preparing for this test.
Yes.
Like that's accountability in itself. Like, I'm not gonna stay out late because I got to get my mind right. I got to build my, just the body to be able to withstand what I'm gonna withstand. So, like, they're thinking about that throughout the summer. So, conditioning test. I got to be right. I got to pass the eye test. Weighing body fat. I'm like, wow. When I hear Heat players talk, then I hear other players talk. It's totally different. Not that they're not working hard. That just their level of, like, attention and detail to, like, their bodies, right? It's on another
There's
level.
a bar that's been set by the organization that says the bar is excellence.
Yeah.
If you don't meet that bar,
Right.
you're not going to be part of the team.
Right.
And it feels like, there's been a million stories about the Heat conditioning from 20,000 different players that have been through that organization.
Right.
And again, not that other organizations don't work hard. Maybe just that standard is not excellence.
Yeah. Maybe the weather. Like, when I remember them just going out to the track, and I used to be like, man, if y'all were in a cold city, you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like they used to be out on the track, like track stars, and I couldn't believe it. Like, they had to change that because, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just remember him being so tired, like,
bro. But man, you know what? I was able to use that little time,
Right.
apply that everywhere I went. And because I was a Heat guy, like I had a longer career than I probably should have had.
Wow.
Like what I learned there extended my career.